Welcome back, everyone, to the weekly Armchair Kickoff podcast. We're on a United show today, Devil's Advocate, and today I'm joined by two very special guests. I'm joined by Amy from our all-women's football podcast, Three Devils owner, and from She Devils United. And below me, we are joined by Devil's Advocate resident and weekly Armchair Kickoff podcast regular, Mr. Shane Dowley. How are you tonight, guys?
Yeah, not too bad.
Not too bad. Looking forward to I'm happy to see the back of the international break on it. For sure. Looking forward to seeing the Tricky Reds back in action now the weekend. So
I think watching Ireland has made us appreciate watching United a little bit more.
I just don't watch Ireland, lads. I just can't. I can't do it to myself. Like, it's so painful.
Yeah, it's just one of them things. Like, I watched the Luxembourg and the Qatar game, and it really made me appreciate McFred. Whatever else, it actually made me appreciate McFred. That's how bad Ireland were. Like, they made McFred look class. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, to kind of watch Ireland and kind of watch the way, you know, how poorly we played over the two games. It's kind of great to see Manchester United to obviously be back on our television screens this Sunday. But obviously, look, the first talking point of tonight is the international break, because obviously a lot of Manchester United players were present, obviously playing in the team in their respective national teams this week. Obviously, you had Scott McTominay playing with Scotland, with Martial and Pogba playing with France, Maguire, Luke Shaw playing with England, and just all them players. Eric Bailly and Amad Diallo also went out international duty, Ivory Coast, albeit they didn't play. So again, that's a big boost. Lindelof came back from international duty, Rashford came back from international duty, and so did Mason Greenwood. So when you consider the freshness of the squad coming back from this international break, it's quite relatively good. We're quite in good shape coming back from international break, which is kind of it's unknown for our Manchester United fans to be kind of happy for a team coming back with international break. But the first thing I kind of want to talk about with the break is, obviously, we had a lot of players gone out, and the couple of players I've actually mentioned there, the likes of McTominay, who had a man-of-the-match performance for Scotland in the World Cup qualifiers. Amy, he played quite well in the international break. A player who's been under a lot of scrutiny as of late. Like, we're happy to see McTominay kind of get some more form and get some confidence going into the weekend.
Yeah, look, he had a great couple of games for Scotland, and I know Scotland kind of shuffled him around a little bit. But he was playing in midfield for Scotland this time round, and look, he got man of the match, so hopefully that'll boost his confidence a little bit as well. But yeah, definitely delighted to see him back, and obviously no injuries as well, which is great.
And my man Bits and Bobs is in the house. Big up Keane and Shane, and he also said, can we pause and appreciate Amy? Bits and Bobs, legend, biggest legend as ever. You know, and a huge Manchester United fan. Let us know, Bobs, how you're feeling about the weekend. You know, let us know how you're feeling about Brighton. But yeah, look, I think for McTominay, it was great to see him kind of get back into the midfield with Scotland, and he had a man-of-the-match performance. You know, so for me, it was good. It was good to see that happen. And you know, again, it's always good to see one of our own go out and do well in international break. Shane, Anthony Martial and Paul Pogba, two players who you rate quite highly in a Manchester United shirt. Both played fantastically well for France, especially Pogba, most notably getting minutes after coming back from a long injury, which was quite good to see. And we see Martial getting assists. I know he got a little injury as well, but how do you feel about the two lads kind of both getting form and both getting much needed to match practice?
Yeah, it's really important, I suppose, for Pogba to just get minutes under his belt since he's been out a while now for us. And I suppose Martial, just to try and play himself into a bit of form, because it's kind of been a disaster of a season for him, unfortunately. But did he go off injured for France the other night? It
was rumored to be an ACL or an MCL, but luckily it's not as serious. He's actually having the fitness test for the weekend, so he's not as bad.
Not too bad. Yeah, that's not too bad, because we're light up top as it is. So yeah, it's good. Like, we haven't picked up not a lot of players after coming back injured, I suppose. So it leaves us in good nick for the run in, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely. I think seeing Pogba get minutes, especially in midfield and out on the wing, was great to see. And I think Martial as well, I think to him be playing around quality and looking at his overall build-up play in terms of getting involved, dropping into midfield, obviously linking up the play. It was kind of reminiscent of what he'd done against Manchester City earlier on in the season. So for me, it was quite good to see that. For me, I mostly watch England, apart from Ireland, over the international break, and like looking at Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw, both played fantastically well. In respective games they played in. Yeah, Shaw got man of the match and a great cross to Harry Kane, which again, look, I want to see that next season. People know my feelings on who I think we should buy up front. Shaw to Kane, inject that right there now, inject it. But look, I was great to see Shaw get back into the England team.
Declan Rice got man of the match in the other game, I believe.
Yeah, so again, look, that's another player we'd like to see. Yeah, the stock keeps going up. And like, look, Harry Maguire, I just want to shout out Sean Maroney as well. Sean Maroney was giving Harry Maguire the height of it all week, and Harry Maguire scored a goal the other night. So yeah, big up to Harry.
I've seen someone on Twitter say this, and I think it's so true. Is if Maguire got a nice skin fade, I think people would rate him a lot higher. Because his haircut at the moment is so annoying. Like how, like,
what, like this Shane? No.
Yeah, no, I need to get one myself now, but say less now. These black MAGA haircuts, you getting some bother. But yeah, if you got a nice fade now, I think people would rate him a lot higher than they do.
Yeah, like I think Maguire's been underrated this season. I think I've given him the height of it, like I think at certain points during the season, but I think when you look at probably December until now, he's been highly consistent in our back four alongside Lindelof. I think they've actually done well. We've kept a lot of clean sheets. So like in that regard, you can't knock him too much, Obviously, look, people in the midfield too probably help contribute to that too, but we won't go there yet in terms of that. But like another player who actually...
I think most United fans are kind of in agreement like that. Like Maguire is a good player, but he's just probably not good enough to be the best centre half at United. So
he's not worth 80 million. That's what people are getting at.
Yeah, and like I hate like when you hold a price tag against a player because it's nothing to do with the player. But I can't shake that either. Like the 80 million, like we proper got fucking stung for it. But no, he is a good player, like, and he's done well. He had a really slow start, to be fair, but I think every United player did. But I think he's done well since then. We just really need to get a partner for him because boy, he can't stay fit.
Or even a defensive midfielder.
Yeah, I think a defensive midfielder is definitely more important. I think, but yeah, because he gets no protection. Yeah, you know what I mean.
And like Daniel said, comments here, like he's improved us massively. If you look at the stats of Harry Maguire from before he joined the club in terms of defensive record, and then since he signed for the club, last year we were the second most successful defense in the league last season. Obviously, this year we've conceded a few more goals than last year, but we're higher up in the table, which is down to our strikers and Bruno Fernandes, more than anything. But look, I think he doesn't get the respect because we overpaid for him. But at the same time, he's been an improvement on Chris Smalling and Phil Jones. So like, look, at the end of the day, we called for an improvement. Harry Maguire has been an improvement. Has he been world class? No, but he's been consistent for the large part.
He's kind of annoying, like, because I think I said in the chat the last day, he like does this hero ball defending where he, say for example, we're defending a set piece and he'll drop off early because in his head he's like, I want to be the one to head it away. Like I'm going to be the one to get on the end of it and clear it because I cost all this, And there's times where he'll overcommit. Like he'll try and anticipate something and he'll overcommit to it because he wants to be the one to cut it out instead of trusting his team, the players around him and that. So I know it's like mistakes, but I don't know how to explain it. But it's like he wants to be the one to do it instead of just doing what's right. He's taking a gamble because he wants to get the headline set. Like his like people say his biggest weakness is pace, but it's not even as that. It's like he's too aggressive. Like he tries too much to be a front foot defender. Like he's always, and I suppose that is kind of down to his pace. Well, that's why he gets spun so many times, like because he wants to always win the ball first instead of just playing it safe. Where Lindelof is probably too hesitant, I'd say Maguire is almost too aggressive, and then when he's not mobile either. That makes it worse, because he can't recover then when he does make the first mistake.
Yeah, I think that's a problem. But again, like if you get a centre back partner such as like a Koundé or a Pau Torres, someone like that who has that burst of pace, and they're also good in the ball, we wouldn't be under as much pressure. I think that's why a lot of United fans are kind of calling for at the moment. But yeah, look, at just another Red that's under contract, played well. I just want to just quickly shout it out there. Who played well over international break was Jesse Lingard. Just gonna throw it out there. He played well. He's currently at West Ham, but just because Amy's on the show, I know Amy loves him so much. Jesse Lingard, well done. Very good performance. But kind of looking
credit
at
where credit is due,
Yeah, credit where credit's due, absolutely. And Tim's in the comments here today. Great to see Tim. Great to see Tim in the comments. Tim has said 3 of my favourite Irish. Hope you're all well. It's absolutely fantastic to see Tim in the comments. As always, fantastic Manchester United fan. Do check out at Niagara UFC for their supporters club over in the States. So do check that out. Absolutely. Daniel says in the comments here, let's get it up here now. Yeah, but to be fair, Shane, Ollie's openly said that Maguire stays free for every set piece so he can tack the ball and get first contact.
Yeah, that's right, because like people do that. Usually you'd leave your best header of the ball free. You'll get the other players to pick up, so you can leave him attack it, but it's the problem. That's true, to be fair, from Jake. shout out to Jake. He's good on. He's also a co-founder of the Paul Pogba Stan Club that we're part of. But yeah, like a lot of teams will leave like their best header of the ball free so they can attack the ball, but that's different to say him dropping off. Like, fair enough, you go attack the ball, but it's like when you're dropping off early, then you're playing everyone on side. Do you know what I mean? Like they're not mutual. They're not mutually exclusive. Like you can be free to attack the ball, but also hold the line. And yeah, that's true from Jake. We ride together, die together. Paul Pogba for life.
Pogba FC is in full flow here tonight. But look, when you look at obviously all the players getting decent amount of minutes over the international break, players who needed minutes, but also players getting rest. Eric Boye didn't play over the international break. He was there, Ivory Coast, but he didn't play. Also,
coming back with no injury, that's great.
Boye is so funny. Did you see Diallo's Insta Live? And Boye,
yeah, it was brilliant.
It's so funny. It's like going off. Remember when you're like 13, you're getting the buses to games, like.
I was like going on a school trip or something.
Yeah, he's so funny.
But kind of obviously, when you look at that, right, Boye obviously didn't play. A player who we've been clamoring to get a rest came home a week early for the international break with Bruno Fernandes. Shane, how are you feeling about that? Bruno getting kind of a week off and do some much needed rest after kind of, I suppose, a rigorous schedule he's had to have in the last kind of 13 months.
Yeah, it's good. Like it's important, like that he does get the rest, because he has played a lot of football this year, and I think the last couple of weeks before the international break, it looked like he was very tired. So like it can only be good to get the rest, because he's not going to get a lot of rest under Ollie. Not a lot of the key players do. So yeah, it's good to get it where he can, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely. And Amy, do you feel kind of the same with regards to Bruno getting a rest? Because many of us have been saying that he looks knackered nearly with the last kind of 3-4 months. Like, are you kind of in that same boat that, like, Bruno got that much deserved rest?
Yeah, I won't lie. I was delighted when he got that yellow card, because I knew he was out for the next game. Definitely needs that rest, because I think he's just, for majority of the season, he has been that player that's been nearly carrying the whole team by himself. So he did need that rest. I know he hasn't got a lot of rest over the season, so it was definitely well deserved.
Did he play?
Yeah, and look, for me,
do you know when he played for Portugal during the week, did he play as an 8 in a 4-2-3 or something? I think I saw people saying on Twitter. I didn't watch the game now, but if any he did.
Yeah, he was playing in a 3 in midfield, yeah.
Yeah, how did he get on?
He played all right, like, do you know what I mean? Like, again, he got booked.
That first game, he actually nearly scored when he came on as well.
Yeah, because, like, I think United is the only place where he's played as a 10. Like, I think important didn't he play as an 8 and a 3. Like he was always more of a box.
He played is kind of with Sporting. He was a blend between 8 and the 10. Like he kind of.
It's weird then because if everywhere he was kind of playing as an 8, and then even when he first in his debut for United against Wolves, I think he was playing in midfield in a double pivot. I think it might have been with McTominay, but I'm not sure. But yeah, like in his first game, he was playing a lot deeper, and then ever since then, he's just been playing as an 8. So
it was against Wolves. That was enforced though because we had injuries. I think McTominay was out. Matt, I think he played in the midfield too with Fred. I believe I could be wrong. But
I think it was Fred.
I think it was Fred. I think it could suit him better to play if we. I think our whole team, I think, would get on a lot better if we did play 4-3-3, because I think it would suit Bruno a lot as well, because we know he's a fucking gunslinger, like, you know, he comes out shooting from the hip. So if you moved him as an 8 to an 8 in a 4-3-3, it kind of just restricts him more. So first of all, he gets more of a rest because you're not having to cover as much ground, and it just kind of restricts his role a bit, so he can calm down a little bit as well. So yeah, I think it's something we should try, but I don't think we'll be able to try that until we get a DM. Because I think we said loads of times on the podcast.
I said this in the show last week. Like, you go and you get a Declan Rice, you get an Ndidi, you get a Sakaria, you get someone in that ilk who can play that single defensive midfield role. That we have the one player to do all that, has all that responsibility. Then you have Pogba, you have a Bruno, you have a Donny who can play in these advanced positions in midfield to do damage. Because when you actually look at all the top 6 teams, right, apart from us, right, who plays 4-2-3-1? None of them. I can't name one with any of them teams that plays 4-2-3-1.
Spurs probably the only ones.
But they're trash.
Yeah, that's true. I think Arsenal do sometimes well, but I'm just naming the bad teams that do it. So it doesn't bode well for us, you know.
No, but like this is what I'm saying. Like you look at Chelsea. Well, I know Chelsea are playing 3 at the back now, right? But they played 4-3-3 before under Lampard. City are playing 4-3-3. Liverpool are playing 4-3-3. Leicester are playing 4-3-3. Do you know what I mean? So
it's weird because when Oli first came in as well, he went 4-3 straight away, and we were doing
not the personnel.
Yeah, it's weird. Like I don't know why he's gone away from it so much. Maybe it's because I suppose we don't really have the DM anymore. Even like Matic, when Oli came in 2 years ago, Matic still was more or less finished, but he's 2 years older now, so he's even more washed. Like, but I think that might be it. Like, we just don't have the DM for him to play, because I think
I just think a defensive midfielder has to be priority, because I'm sick to death of playing 2 holding.
Yeah.
And both of them always lose the ball and they can't pass either. So
yeah, like you have 2 players there trying to do the job of one player, like, you know, and then anything like McTominay is a limited footballer, but what he does do well, he does really well. But when you play him with Fred, you're taking all that away from him because he's having to play like 10 yards deeper. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I think McTominay is definitely more box to box. He's definitely not holding.
Definitely, and that's why when you're playing with Fred, like, he can't do that because he's having to babysit Fred. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't know, like, it's annoying because I feel like I say this every time I'm on the podcast, but it's just frustrates the life out of me because there's such a gaping hole in the team, and it's been a gaping hole in the team for like 2 years probably now, and still we're not even being linked with any defensive midfielders, to be honest. Do you know?
Which that's frightening. I think that's frightening that we're not like linked to a defensive midfield player. When I think like every United fan is saying that's our most important position.
Yeah.
And if the management and the new directors of football aren't looking at it, that's frightening. That really does strike fear into me. But
to be fair to Oli, like, he is usually good at, when he's looking at the team, he's good at picking out he's good at identifying what players are good and what players aren't for United. You know, and he's good at pointing out what holes there are in the team and what the team needs to improve. So that's why I just find it so weird, like, because he hardly is thinking next season McFred and Matic is enough in midfield again. Like, surely not, because it's septic. It's actually septic, like.
Yeah, it is. But since we're kind of talking about transfer speculation, now I'm not putting any wind into this, right? But Supposedly today, Manchester United representatives had a meeting with a certain agent who I'm not going to name. It's like naming Lord Voldemort. A villain, an agent that's a villain in the world of football. Haaland's agent met Manchester United representatives say with regards to a possible deal. Now, obviously, that certain agent was slotting himself over in Madrid and Barcelona yesterday also. But like when you look at kind of that potential deal for Erling Haaland, obviously Manchester United last season were on the verge of doing the deal. It broke down over the release clause. United weren't willing to put in the release clause for him after 3 years. And that's why that broke down last season. When you look at Erling Haaland, obviously, look, generational talent. We'd all love him at the club. Great striker. I'm coming to you first, Amy. Do you think there's any legs to this? Like, I know they're meeting him today. Do you think there's any chance this club actually go out and get him?
No. I think the whole Haaland situation, it's a case of who's going to offer the most money. It's going to be like a bidding war, basically. I know a lot of clubs want him, great player, and he'll benefit a lot of clubs, but from a United point of view, I don't see it happening, to be honest. We seen what happened last summer with Sancho. There's no way in hell they're offering that money for Haaland if they wouldn't offer for Sancho last summer. So, no, dead deal.
But think about it, I reckon we get Sancho this summer. I really think we get Sancho this summer. Like the fact Dortmund are willing to reduce the asking price. I think Sancho is probably more of a likely deal than Haaland this summer, if I'd be honest. I don't think there's anyone else strongly linked with Sancho either. So I think United probably have a free run at him this summer. And I think obviously, look, right wing is a position we need to address. But obviously, again, I come back to it. Defensive midfield for me is just the number one. Because I think you do that one position, you fix that one position, it solves about 3 different problems we have in the team. So, I think for me, defensive midfield is the position. Now, people say in the comments here, Haaland would go to Spain and Haaland's not coming to United. Look, I'm saying it too. Like, I've said it. Like, I've said he's not coming. But obviously, Mino Raiola, I had to name him there, the bastard. But he's going around Europe, slotting himself around.
I wouldn't call him little now, to be honest.
Yeah, but anyway, we won't go there. We won't go there. I'd like to remain respectful, even if he's not respectful to anybody. But
little bastard, he said. The little bastard. I'd like to remain respectful.
I could say a lot worse. I could use that. There's a lot worse words in my vocabulary that I could say about that man that I'm not going to go there live, because this show is live and people can clip things up and take them completely out of context. So I'm going to just leave it there. But Shane, like in terms of Haaland, in terms of that, do you have any hope, any expectation that United can actually, if there is, as Amy said, a bidding war, that we can get him?
Like, I definitely believe the club is in for him. So I feel like every serious club in the world is going to be in for him, but I don't think there's any chance of us getting him. I'm like you, Keane. I think a right winger is more important to address than a striker. But obviously, if you get someone like Haaland or Keane or someone like that, it's a no-brainer. You do it. But no, I don't think so. I actually don't think he's going to go anywhere this summer. Especially like all the clubs are kind of strapped for cash over the pandemic. So I find it hard to believe that a club is going to pay 150 million euro for him this summer when they could pay like half that next year.
67 million next summer.
Yeah, so I find it hard to believe someone's going to pay that much when you could get him for so much less the year after. So I probably think Sancho will leave this year, hopefully to United, and Haaland will go next year, but definitely won't be to United. I feel like Haaland is like Mbappe now, that they've already outgrown England. I think that it'll be Spain probably. I just think there's some players where they'll just become too big to go to England, and yeah, I don't know. I just think it'll have to be Barca, Madrid. I kind of think Madrid, but then I'm looking at them and I'm like, they've no money either. So
Barcelona are worse off though. They'd have to get someone off the wage bill to have Haaland there.
Yeah,
it's so weird.
I look at this, right?
Messi's contract.
I look at this with Haaland, right? I look at this with Haaland. Once he doesn't go to Man City or Chelsea, I'll be happy. Once he doesn't go to 1 or 2 of them, I'll be happy, because if he does, he may as well call off the league, because
I forgot about City actually. Yeah, I think City is actually a possibility just because his father and Guardiola. But it's so weird because it doesn't strike me as a player Guardiola would actually like. I don't think Guardiola has ever had played a nine.
Remember he signed Zlatan, and then he
hated Zlatan.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even like Zlatan was like way more technically and way more technically sound than Haaland, and he's way more of a Pep style of player than Haaland, I think. So that's why I find it weird, but I don't know. I just think Pep doesn't really care anymore. He just wants someone there who's just gonna bang goals.
Guardiola did say though that he wants nothing to do with Pep anymore, so City could be off the cards there as well.
Yeah, but you slagging off United there the other day, and then he's meeting United today. So like, Mino Raiola, that man, right?
But
he only cares about that.
He never said he wouldn't deal with United again, but he said he does not want to deal with Pep.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I do think it'll probably be Barca or Madrid, but I don't know, to be honest.
That means either then Griezmann or Messi is going to be coming off the wage bill, because there's no way in hell they're 4 and 3.
It's actually so weird that Messi's contract is up in 3 months and there's no talk of him going anywhere. So like, surely he doesn't sign a new contract to Barca, because I think it would be better for them to cut ties with him, and it's better for him to go somewhere else now to give himself a chance at another crack at the Champions League before he retires. Like, I think it suits both parties. Like, it just makes sense for him. It doesn't think it makes sense for either of them if he stays there, but there's no talk of him being linked with anyone. Like, the City rumours, I think, are completely gone, and I can't really imagine him going anywhere else.
Yeah, absolutely. But look, I look at this and I'm like, once again, Haaland doesn't go to one of our rivals in the Premier League, that'd be great. Or Arsenal, for that matter. But anyway, kind of obviously, I suppose the reason why we're here tonight is to look ahead to the big game Sunday against Brighton on the weekend. Obviously, the reverse fixture had a lot of drama. Obviously, 3-2. Brighton, though, did give us a lot of trouble that day, but I think that was a Brighton team. Obviously, they had a lot more games in the tank than United did. We didn't have a pre-season. We'd like Paul Pogba and not coming back from COVID at that time. And this is a squad that wasn't as sharp as what the Brighton squad was at that time. I think 3-2 on the day. Bruno Fernandes gets a goal in I don't even know what minute it was. Was it the 98-minute penalty? Bruno Fernandes scored that day. That was a fantastic moment in my life to see Bruno get a 98-minute penalty. I remember the weekly armchair group chat that day. Certain few people were going mad about United getting a penalty after the final whistle. VAR intervened and then Bruno scored it. I just remember the group chat that day. That was quite glorious. But obviously, when you look at this game, Brighton are kind of fighting for their lives. Obviously, they're in a relegation battle at the minute. Obviously, they still have a bit to fight for. Now, people say that they play great football. Obviously, Graham Potter is highly thought of in the Premier League. But again, it's a team who I think with our fully fit squad and they're all coming back from international break, I kind of feel myself that's not going to be the same type of game. I don't think they're going to trouble us as much as they did the last time. And Shane, how are you feeling about this game coming into it? Because obviously for us, it's very important to kind of cement that second place and I think try to get that done as quickly as possible, just so we can kind of focus on maybe winning the Europa League this year.
Yeah, it'll obviously be tough. In the reverse fixture, they battered us. It's so mad that we ended up winning that game because they played us off the park. They're a good team. I watched them out. Of all teams in the league, apart from United, they're probably the team I watched the most. And I like watching them every time. They do play nice football, and they really just don't have a striker or that standout forward, to make the difference. Like other mid-table teams, they have like Palace have Zaha and Wolves have someone like Neto or Traore. Brighton just don't have that guy that make the difference for him. But they do play nice football, and I think Potter is a good coach. But yeah, I do think we should win. I think we will win, but it'll be so annoying because it feels like United haven't played in months. This has probably been the longest international break of my life. So to come back and drop points would be really annoying. But yeah, it'll be tough, but I'm confident enough that
Danny Welbeck will turn into prime Ronaldo number 9 on Sunday.
He did the last time. He scored against us in the FA Cup when he was with Arsenal, indeed.
Yeah, that was about 6 years ago, weren't it? When that happened.
It was when Van Gaal was here still, I think.
Yeah, that was a dark time. We won't talk about that because there might be a certain Arsenal fan in the comments who might remind us about that. He likes to remind me of it from time to time. So when he reminds me about that, I remind him about a certain Jesse Lingard going there, making their stadium his dance floor. But we won't go there. We won't go there. Yeah, but look, for me, I think I'm positive about this game. I really am. I think you look at their style of play. They play good football. Again, they're coming away from home. I know they beat Liverpool at Anfield, but that's not really a big achievement nowadays. Don't worry, I'm getting to them in a minute.
Everyone beats Liverpool at Anfield these days.
Yeah, but when you actually look at the way they play and the way we play, I think they'll open up and we can actually pick them apart, especially with a fully fit team. I think we can put them to the sword. Now, I could be wrong. I think that you never know in a game of football. Many different things can happen. But for me, I'm thinking we get an early goal, we make them come out, and we can put 2 or 3 past them. I do strongly believe that. I think if the likes of Bruno and Pogba are fully firing, we can win that midfield battle, not a bother, and we can go ahead and we can actually make a stamp and put some pressure on the teams below us to kind of fuck up. But Amy, how are you feeling about this game? Are you as positive as me, or would you be more in the kind of pessimistic camp?
See, the games or the teams we should be beating, we make it really hard for ourselves. So that's why I'm very not as optimistic as you. But I reckon it will be tough. But I reckon we will win it. I think Pogba has to play this game without a doubt. Pogba has to play. Obviously, we're lacking a bit of front now with Rashford injured as well. So
yeah, I was just reading team news just before we went live tonight. Marcus Rashford is in full training and is in contention for the weekend.
Okay, that changes things a bit.
4-0.
Yeah, no, I reckon if we don't make it hard for ourselves, we could easily push 3-4 past them. But knowing United against teams like this, we do make things hard for ourselves. So if that is the case, it'd probably be like maybe 2-0 maybe. But
we get some poor predictions.
This United team is so annoying because you never feel confident going into a game with them. They always make it so hard. And the only reason I actually feel confident going into the game is because it feels so long since United have played. So I'm after forgetting.
And we lost before international break too.
Yeah.
Paul, you're actually in the comments there, Paul. I've a job for you if you want. If you want to be mod on the comments, I'll make you a mod there now actually, because we got a few trolls there last night. And we had a few bastards in the comments making fake accounts and abusing the guests on the show. So, Paul, if you want to be a mod, I'll make you a mod right there now. Let me know in the comments because we need to get rid of some of the bastards. If the bastards from last night come back, we need to be ready. So, do let me know. But yeah, look, I think I'm in agreement with both of you as well. Like in these sometimes when a game where it looks like it should be an easy day at the office, we can make it tough for ourselves. I think you obviously look at Sheffield United, you look at West Brom, 2 games we should have won this season, and they're 2 prime of examples that nothing's guaranteed, So, look, I think, whereas I'm confident, there's always that little bit in the back of my head that's thinking we can screw up today. I think that there's always that element of possibility there in that regard. Yeah, Paul will be a mod. No worries, Paul. I will I'll sort that out literally right now this second. Yeah, and Daniel said he said first time there's been shit in the comments last night. Yeah, there's people in the comments last night giving our guest, we had a man from a Liverpool fan channel on last night, and they were giving our Liverpool guest abuse, personal abuse. Like I'm all for a rival club fan banter. If people see me on Twitter, I'm lethal. Shane's lethal for it. Amy's lethal for it, right? But what we don't like, and I don't appreciate, is when you have a guest on and you're like, you can slag their club, you can slag players from their club. We do it from time to time. But when you bring personal stuff into it, guys, look, it's just not welcome. So, look, I appreciate all the comments that come in on a regular basis. So, look, I do.
It's not funny. Like, no one's laughing with you. It's just kind of mean. Like, you know, I get there's just you're having a laugh with someone, but when it's just unprovoked, just throwing digs at someone, just trying to be nasty, it's just lame. You know, I don't think anyone was looking at them comments last night laughing. I think people were just like, come on, man. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. And look, Paul, I just made you a moderator there now. So look, if any of them people do come in, you're there anyway.
Keep them in fucking line, Paul.
But whip. Yeah, so like, look, I'm just gonna come to obviously a couple of comments anyway. Here. So obviously, look, Reese is in the house. Reese says, and there's shit in the comments. Well, I'm here not having this bullshit. Yeah, Reese, look, we're all not here for that bullshit. And Eamon says here, look, I'm swinging for the fence. And what Eamon says here, I'm in a total agreement. But like sorry, I'm have to get clicking the wrong comment there. Eamon said it's all about respect, and that's it. That's key. Like, look, on this channel we have United fans, we've one or two Liverpool fans with, we've Chelsea fans, we've Spurs fans, we've Arsenal fans. Like, look, we all give it to each other in the group chat. We all give it to each other when we're on the show. But we never get personal. And like especially look at what's going on social media in the last kind of 12 months, especially on football Twitter. It's nothing short of disgraceful. So like when you see that, and then it gets kind of translated over to a fan channel when people are on live talking about a football club and people get personal, there's no need for that. And in any walk of life, where it's a fan channel on social media or just in life in person, like there's no need for it. You know, like especially during this time of lockdown where everyone's kind of, you know, alone. We all can't be around our friends and doing this, that, and the other. And you know, for that kind of stuff to happen, it's uncalled for. But it is what it is. We'll move on. And look, as Aim said, it's all about respect, and we all respect each other's opinions, even if we don't agree with each other. Like sometimes me and Shane, we don't agree with each other in some aspect.
Blows over it, and it don't matter.
We go for slaps out the back, and then that's it. But Shane usually knocks me out then. But like, look, it's all good. It's all good. But look, like again, I'm always up for banter. But like when you take it too far, there's no room for that with me. But look, it is what it is. But obviously, look, back to the game. Back to the most important thing on the show. It's the game on Sunday. Lads, it's a long time the Manchester United have actually had a fully fit squad minus Phil Jones. Obviously, he's just always injured. But we actually have a fully fit squad. Mason's back. Marcus is back. Martial is there for a late fitness test, but with Cavani being back, is he going to be first team striker anyway? You don't know. So we're going to get into starting 11 predictions. So Shano, I'm going to come to you first. What's your starting 11 prediction for Sunday? What would you like to see?
And I don't know. Reese is a funny guy, man. I think De Gea in goal, Wan-Bissaka right back, Shaw left back, Maguire and Lindelof be the two centre halves. The midfield is there. I think Pogba will start, but I really don't know who he'll start with. I think I'm not sure. I have a feeling he's going to start Fred. I don't know why. He's not a footballer, but I don't know. I think he probably will go Pogba and Fred. I don't want it. I'd rather go Pogba and Matic or McTominay, maybe. Then Rashford, if Rashford's fully fit, he'll start left wing. Bruno will be 10. I don't know who's right wing then, because I think he'll play Greenwood up front. I hope he plays Greenwood up front. So I don't know, probably Dan James will be right wing, but I'm not too
that
sure.
Kills you.
It does, because I'm there's no other right winger there, and I'm it has to be him, but I still don't want to say it's him, because I never feel like he's going to start Diallo. He's probably actually played Diallo more than I thought he would this season. He's made a few appearances, but it always kind of surprises me when he does play him. So I think he probably will go Greenwood right wing, and he'll go Cavani up front maybe, but I would rather have Greenwood up front and then just whoever right wing, play with 10. I don't mind whether it's Dan James, but I just want to see Greenwood up front more, because I think when he has been playing up front recently, he's done well. I know he hasn't scored, but he's been tidy and he's linked things up well. And
he scored against Leicester.
Yeah, I forget about that game because it sucked. So I just forget.
We all don't forget about that one.
But Greenwood's, I think he's done well when he's played up front this year. So I'd like to see him get a run of games. If the reports are true about Cavani that he's refusing to play, then just get fucking lost, because I don't think he has even. I don't even think he's been good for us this year. He scored a couple important goals, to be fair, but I just don't even think he's been great. I think a lot of United fans overrate how he's been this year just because Martial has been so bad. So I think they exaggerate how Cavani's done. So I just go Greenwood, and we know Martial's not been good. So yeah, hopefully Greenwood up front and Daniel James right wing.
that was that was great. That killed you.
It does. It took me so long to get it out of me as well, because I'm trying to think of who else I could stick right.
I'm just going to come to Daniel's comment here. To be fair though, I've always kind of haven't been Daniel James' biggest supporter, but I actually have to agree with Daniel's comment here. He says Daniel James deserves to start with his recent performances, and he's done well for Wales as well.
Scored a header.
Yeah,
he scored a header, man.
It was a nice goal for Wales, but I don't these last few games to United where people say player. I haven't really seen it. I know he scored a goal or two, but
he just kind of runs around more than anything, to be honest.
Yeah, I just don't. When people say he's playing well, I'm I don't even think he's playing well. He's just not being really bad, and the bar is in hell. It's so low. So when he's just out there running around, people are he's done okay. He's done nothing. Do you know what I mean? I just don't rate him, man. I just don't see it in him, because apart from pace, I know there are certain games and certain situations where his pace would be really useful, but then when he does get in them positions where he can hurt you with his pace, his decision making is so bad. Was it against Leicester where we had the 2v1? Or am I mixing that up with another game? We had a 2v1 on the break.
It wasn't Leicester, because he didn't play against Leicester.
Was it? Who did we play? It was a game recently, and then
was it Chelsea?
It could have been. I think it was a blue team, but I remember we had a 2v1 on the break, and he tried to beat the one, and I'm are you fucking bugging? What the fuck are you doing? So he does get in positions where he can hurt you with his pace, but his final ball isn't good. His decision making isn't good. He's not good at beating his man. So I just don't think he has enough about him to be at United. I think United should try and cash in the summer if Leeds still want him. I think it's so crazy we didn't let him go last year when Leeds were in for him and were willing to pay 20-25 million or so for him. I think Ollie is just reluctant to give up on one of his own signings.
Yeah, look, remains to be seen. But before I come to Amy, I'm going to give my lineup, and I'm going to give this lineup with Granada in mind, because I know what Ollie's going to do against Granada in a big game, right? I just get a sneaky suspicion what he's going to do, and I'll elaborate on that in a minute. But obviously, I'm going Dean Henderson in goal. Again, I know David De Gea went back and played for Spain last week, but to be fair, Dean Henderson's done well in the last month. He's been in the squad. You can't take him out. if you drop Dean Henderson, that could be the beginning of the end of his United career. Do you know what I mean? David De Gea hasn't played well in the last couple of months.
I'd keep him in the team. Barring like a massive dip in form, I'd keep him in the team till the end of the season. Just give him a really big run to see if he is actually good enough or not. Because that's the only way you're going to know, you know?
Exactly.
Maguire and Lindelof have been playing better with Henderson behind them. So I think it'd be good to see if it'd be the same if De Gea was there.
Yeah, like I think Henderson has weaknesses, but his weaknesses are different to De Gea's. And I think this current United team, De Gea's weaknesses hurt us more than Henderson's does. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I absolutely agree. So, like, for me, I think long term, I've been saying this since the start of the season, I think he should be our number one goalkeeper anyway. Like, I love David De Gea. I love what he's done for the club, but we can't, like, the room for being sentimental is over. This time for being sentimental, it's over.
It breaks my heart saying De Gea needs to go because I actually love him. Like, I'm one of his biggest fans. Like, I'll die on the hill that he's the best keeper I've ever seen play for United. I think he's better than Van der Sar. I know Schmeichel was before my time, but go back and watch videos of Schmeichel, lads, because he was good for his time. But I think a lot of people, maybe I'm chatting shit because he was before my time, but I just think he was so good, like so good, and that's why it kills me to admit like that he's completely washed and has
that
been
5 year
washed
spell from 2013 to 2018. David De Gea is the best keeper in the world, like without question. He was the best goalkeeper in world football.
Easily.
Like some of the performances. He got United's player of the year, I think it was like maybe 4 out of them 5 years as well. Like, so that speaks for itself. But yeah, look, kind of getting sidetracked on my team with David De Gea there. But yeah, look, Dean Henderson in goal, undisputed, number one goalkeeper, putting it down there now. Dino's in goal. Right back picks itself, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Again, we've no right back to contend with him.
I was about to say, he's the only right back at the club. He does pick himself.
Yeah. By process of elimination, Aaron Wan-Bissaka star. But just with regards to it, centre halves, I'm going to go with Boye and Maguire. Lindelof is actually a doubt. He came back from international duty early, and I see Shane's actually wearing a Sweden top. Of what kind of copped onto that right now. Shane's repping Victor Lindelof tonight. Rachel loved that. But yeah, I'm going to go Boye and Maguire because I think if he lost 1 to 2 games, he might keep him for the Europa League against Granada. So yeah, I'm going to go Boye and Maguire. Obviously left back, again, undisputed, best left back in the league. And I need to reiterate this. Best left back in the league this season, contrary to unpopular opinion. Luke Shaw at left back. Look, again, best left back in the league this year, defensively and offensively. I think this season, apart from Bruno, I think he's been our player of the season. I massively do think he is.
I'm going to
and again,
watch a Luke Shaw compilation on YouTube after this, actually. I'm going to go watch some.
But yeah, look, he's been fantastic. Look, he's been very good this season. I think he deserves all the praise in the world. And just shout out to Marcus Rashford as well for answering my Luke Shaw question the other day on Twitter. That was a monumental moment in my social media career. So thanks. Cheers to that, Marcus. I know you're feeding all the kids in the UK, but you fed my ego the other day too by replying to me. So thanks very much.
He's a good friend of the podcast, Marcus.
Yeah, very good friend of the podcast. Maybe one day we might get him on. You never know.
He's watching.
But whole of midfield. Now the reason why I'm going to go with this midfield too is because I know McFred are going to start against Granada. It's going to happen. McFred are going to play against Granada, so I'm going to go in Nemanja Matic. I'm going to go Paul Pogba in midfield. Again, this is a game where we're probably going to have the ball. So again, Matic, Pogba, Bruno, midfield 3. We played that anytime we've played that this season. We've actually played quite well against teams that park the bus.
Pogtic is a way better midfield partnership than McFred, I think.
Did he just call it pottage?
Pogtic. What do people think? Pogtic or McFred?
And Greg's in the comments with Nemanja Matic with sick emojis. Well, to be fair, right, Scott McTominay's not a holding midfielder, so he's not going to play there. I think Matic will play because you're
but
going
he
to play
does play him as a holding midfielder, though. That's the thing. We think from an Ollie perspective here.
Don't get me wrong. Like, Matic is completely finished, but he's still the only player at the team who actually knows how to play as a defensive midfielder. Matic is after forgetting more about football than Fred has ever known. As bad as Matic is now, I'd still probably have him over Fred, because Fred is so annoying as well. Because Fred is bad, but he's a little
not Brazilian either.
Well. Do you know what I mean? Fred just wrecks my head, especially after that disaster class against Leicester. Fred has, I'm changing my team. Fuck Fred. We're going Pogtich against Brighton, and we're steamrolling 3-0. I faith.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Matic and Pogba, because again we're gonna have the ball. You need midfielders who are competent on the ball. I think McTominay's gonna be playing against you need McTominay against Granada. You just know Fred's gonna play against Granada alongside McTominay. So for me, you don't play twice in 1 week. You keep the squad fresh, and look, you go Bruno Fernandes. Look, that picks itself. Not less if Greg wants to go with Donny van de Beek in the 10, we could do that too.
I think he's proved. You see, he's commenting there. Van de Beek will be carrying the bibs.
Come on,
yeah.
Greg,
what's this agenda?
Greg, I think there's a slight agenda here, Greg.
No, hold on. What is Greg's problem with Van de Beek? Because I don't think Van de Beek has been good or bad for United. Like, he's barely played, right? And I think at the start of the season, when he was getting minutes here and there, he was doing good. And now I think the last few months, when he's gotten he's been bad whenever he's come on. Like, when he has played, I don't think he's been good.
I think that form when you're playing like 20 minutes twice a month.
Exactly. Just say, right, he's playing once a month, say, and say he's been bad the last 6 months. So he's been bad like his last 6 games. Do you know what I mean? You can't pick up form when you're playing once every month. You can't pick up form when anytime you're playing with all
or match fitness for that matter.
Yeah, you're playing with all the worst, like all the second team players. You're not playing with the best players. Do you know what I mean? Especially then when you have the likes of Fred behind you, where like you're not going to be able to get on the ball. And so I don't think he should be a 10 for us anyway. I think just the way we play, I just think he should, and the way we play, and also looking at where he's played best for us in the few games he has played, is as a midfielder in a 2, not as a 10. So I think Ollie needs to forget about him playing as 10, because it doesn't suit us and it doesn't suit him. And I just think it's just not fair, like, to be writing him off when he's barely played. Like, Joe, it's such a weird
Greg,
thing.
I actually need to ask Greg a genuine question in the comments, right? And I'm going to ask you just a genuine question. I know you have a massive love for Scott McTominay, and I do too. Is this a fear that if Van de Beek gets into the team, that Scott McTominay gets dropped? That's what I'm asking. I'm just asking a genuine question, because I think, like, when you actually look at football and ability, Van de Beek's definitely a better midfielder than Scott McTominay.
Easily, man. Easily.
Yeah, like, so I need to ask that question. Like, who do you think is a better midfielder, Greg, McTominay or Van de Beek? I actually want to get your honest opinion on that. Even if you want to jump on the show and actually make a case, I'll send you the StreamYard link and we get this going. But
I do think, right, if Van de Beek was to play deeper, it would be more beneficial towards Bruno as well, because his passing is a lot better as well. And he also has a great link up between the defence and the forwards. So I think it'd be way better playing deeper, to be honest.
And Daniel's comment here, Fred smashing it into your throat. Go on, Donny, lad, control that. Like, exactly. So, like, look, again, Donny, when you're playing with, I think, like, when you're playing with shit, you're gonna play shit. Like,
yeah, like, Donny's not the type of player. Like, don't get me wrong, I wasn't watching the whole time at Ajax, but even I know he's not the type of player who's going to run around like a headless chicken, like Fred and McTominay and that. He's a smart player, and he'll kind of walk a lot, but he's ghosting into space. Like, that's what he is as a 10. He picks up good pockets of space. Then you have some jabroni like Fred and you're picking up this little pocket face, and Fred is just shooting the ball at your fucking shin bones. Like, what are you meant to do?
I think Van de Beek, look, he's one of those players where he is going to need a run of games to get into form. You always have these players. You either have ones that click straight away, or you have ones that will need time to develop. Like, look, I'm not having a dig at Sean here, but look at Timo Werner. I think he'll be a good striker next season, but not this season. I think he just needed a good run.
Yeah, do you know, like, it's hard to judge a player.
Like, why is, I'm just gonna throw this out there now. Why is no one talking about all these other players? Why is no one talking about Thiago? Why is no one talking about Kai Havertz? Why is no one talking about Ferran Torres?
I'm talking about Thiago. That guy is come to England. He sacrificed his legacy for no reason. He could have stayed chilling in that fucking engineer league in Germany.
Oh no, Reece Russell is gonna kill you.
He could have just chilled in that, picked up his medals, whatever, and no questions asked. Because there's so many people that rate him so highly, and they just don't even watch him. Don't get me wrong, he's a good player, but since he's come to Liverpool, he's just been a stripper. Like, he's just been slotting. Like, do you know, like, Thiago is a good player, but yeah, I think a lot of the thing is that when he came, people thought he was going to be this player that he never has been. People thought he was going to be this, like, really advanced number 8, this really creative player like Pogba is. And Thiago never was that, never has been that. He's never been someone who's going to, like, consistently be able to play ahead of the play and create things. Do you know?
I like the way you got the Pogba thing in there. I like the way you got that Pogba thing in there.
I fucking remember at the start of the year, and people were saying Thiago was better than Pogba. He was like, he's absolutely not. Because first of all, you can't, like, be like one of the best midfielders. You can be one of the best, but you can't be like the best midfielder if you can't play ahead of the play. Do you know? Because it's harder to play ahead of the ball and then to actually create things happen when the pitch gets shorter and the spaces get tighter. Do you know, it's harder to affect the game. That's why forwards are more important and they're more expensive, and fans like them more. Like, creative players and forwards, like, it's a harder job to do. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, he has been, because, like, he's not a defensive midfielder, but he's kind of a deep line playmaker, and that's why at the start of the season for Liverpool, when Fabinho was moved centre half, Thiago was playing as the 6, and Klopp had to move him from there, swap him with Wijnaldum. Wijnaldum was playing as the 6, and Thiago pushed on a bit because everyone was just having their way with Thiago. You know, everyone was just getting him in a headlock and just picking the head up. So, like,
I was going to bring up, right, there's a comment in there from Greg going, I'm not asking for goals and assists, just run and make space, right? There was a game he played recently. I'm not sure how recent it was. It was definitely after Christmas, and he was playing that number 10 role. And he was making the runs into small pockets of space in the box, but the players around him weren't intelligent enough to read his run.
Was that West Ham in the FA Cup?
I think it could have been. It just wasn't working out.
Off the ball with Danny, I think he's been fine. Like, he's the goal assist. Yeah, I agree. The goal assist don't really matter. But I think he does pick up space well. My biggest gripe with him is, and I think it might be a confidence thing, because, you know, as time's gone on and he's not been getting game time, is that there's times where he'll get the ball and we're on the break and he's too negative, he's too safe with it. Instead of, like, driving into the space with it and pushing on and trying to make something happen, he'll turn back and just play a simple pass. And he doesn't play
the way Bruno does, number 10. Like, Bruno suits us more.
Yeah, and yeah, that's why I think it would suit us better if he was playing the pivot. But I do think that is frustrating. You know, when a player, like, it passes on and the player will turn it down for a safe or negative pass. But I think that's kind of a confidence thing, you know? So, I don't know.
Well, anyway, I'm going to finish off the rest of my 11, guys, because I actually, we got sidetracked with Donny Van de Beek war. But anyway, Greg, I'm actually going to get you on head-to-head with a Van de Beek in person, and we're going to have a debate next week. A head-to-head debate. We're going to get this going, because there's a lot of things you have to get off.
Let Greg and Mark go at, because Mark is a big advocate of Donny, and Greg is a Donny hater.
I know Mark's already on another show right now, but I'll give him a text.
Let him go at it.
We get that debate going next week. But anyway, We established anyway, Greg, Nemanja Matic is in my midfield. Paul Pogba is also in my midfield, and Bruno Fernandes ahead of him. Right wing, Mason Greenwood's going back from injury, and I probably would keep him for Granada during the week. So I'm not even begrudgingly saying this. I'm saying this straight out. I start Daniel James, because Brighton's fullbacks still push up. James can exploit space, and I think he could do well in this type of game for us. So I'm going to go with Daniel James on the right. If he's fit, Marcus Rashford on the left. I think, look, again, that inclusion speaks for itself. Again, I think, look, attacking wise, he's probably been our best player to go alongside, like, obviously Bruno and Luke Shaw. So, yeah, Marcus Rashford. And then people who are trying to compare Marcus Rashford to a 31-year-old striker as well. Get out of it. Get out of it.
Wait, what happened?
Seriously. So there was a show on this channel last week, and someone said that a player that plays for a team that's in 9th place has 4 less goals than Marcus Rashford this season. Bear in mind, this striker's on 250 grand a week. And
what striker is this?
Aubameyang. Marcus, he said in all competitions, Marcus Rashford has 4 less goals than this player. Sorry, 4 more goals than this player. And he's comparing a 31-year-old, 250 grand a week striker to 23-year-old left midfielder Marcus Rashford.
Yeah, one's a striker and one's wing. Like, a Rashford now, like the last year or so, I don't think he's even like that much of a goal scoring winger. I think he's added a lot more playmaking to his game.
More creativity, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think, like, there's a lot of times where he isn't as direct as he used to be, say. And I think it might be over his back, but I don't mind that. Like, I don't think that's what I like about Rashford now, is that even when he's not scoring, and even when he might not be having the best of games, he's still creating and doing things in other ways. Do you know what I mean? Like,
and like,
whereas
what he does do, he gets assists. He gets assists, and what he does do as well. I'm not promoting it, right? But he wins penalties in the box. Like, he beats a player and he attracts goals.
We need more of that. We need more penalties. We need to get our pens back up.
No, but like what I'm saying is, like, you know, that's what he does.
Yeah,
but then, like, for people to compare, a 31-year-old striker to a 23-year-old left winger, your clutchness draws because your club is shit. Simple as that. Yeah, and that's, like, the end of it. I'm not having that argument.
Yeah, and like if Aubameyang is a good player, like he's declined a bit now, but he was always a very good player. But when he isn't scoring, he's not offering you anything. You know, so I'll always prefer a player who, don't get me wrong, you do need a production, like, not like Firmino, like, where you'll do other things but just not score at all. You do need a balance, but yeah, like Rashford, when he's not scoring, he's still offering you something. Do you know what I mean? He's still creating with his movement or his passing or dribbling. You know what I mean? He just offers you a lot more than Aubameyang. And are people saying he's only scored 4 more goals than Aubameyang?
Yeah.
That's dumb, because he scored more and he just offers a lot more. Like, what? That's wild. It's 2021. 2021. Yeah, it's 2021. Like, we're not entertaining Rashford and Aubameyang debates in 2021. You know, like, come on. People need to respect Rashford. Like, respect Rashford.
No, the thing about it is just like, I'm not having that debate, because at the end of the day, one's 31 and in past his prime. One's not even near his prime. And they're trying to clutch at straws.
Arsenal fans are so annoying with that, because, you know, since they've been like really bad the last couple of years, like, all they've been doing on social media is trying to win player debates. You know, to be like, oh, the team is shit, but this player is better than X player. Like, it was the same with Greenwood last year. They were saying, what's his name?
Saka, Greenwood.
No, it was before Saka, and
Martinelli.
Before Martinelli, who was
Nketiah, was it?
Who? No, it might have been Nketiah, but who was on loan in the Bundesliga when
Reece
Sancho
Nelson.
was, yeah, it was at the start of last year. It was Nelson was better than Greenwood. Not true. Then it was Nketiah is better than Greenwood. Not true. Then it was Martinelli is better than Greenwood. Not true. Then it was Saka better than Greenwood. It wasn't true. To be fair, Saka's having a really good year. Saka is having his breakout year now that Greenwood had last year. Do you know what I mean? And Greenwood is having second season syndrome. So he's obviously had a better year. But I still think Greenwood is a better player than Saka. But I'm willing to entertain the debates, you know, but that's all it is for Arsenal.
That's a realistic debate.
Yeah, that's all it is for Arsenal is these individual player debates because
they're the most deluded fan base on the planet.
Yeah, they fucking annoy me, man. I never took much. I never had a problem with Arsenal. I always liked that, but because I like Wenger, I like him, and there's a lot of Arsenal players like Cesc that are some of my favorite players ever. But since they've gotten I liked them more when they were good because they were actually fun. But since they've been shit, all they've been doing is just these stupid individual player debates that nobody cares about and they don't actually matter. I was listening to a podcast today and they were saying that Arsenal have, if not a better squad than United, a squad that is the same level. And they were saying that Arteta is a better manager than Ole. So Arteta is a better manager than Ole, and he has as good as a squad. And one team is second, and the other team is 15th. 2 points ahead of relegation. Money mess. They're not 15th, they're 9th. But do you know what I mean? It's ridiculous, man. Just shut up. They're annoying me.
Yeah, but I just wanted to address that because, look, I haven't been really on the show since that's been said. That was said last week. And for me, I'm just, I'm not having that argument. And you actually never knew about this. I wanted to get your live reaction live on air. So, yeah, that's why I addressed that, in that respect. So obviously, look, Daniel just mentioned, and I talked about this on the show the other night. Daniel says in the comments, while we're talking about Arsenal, can we mention Claude, one of the AFTV originals? Absolutely. Claude was on this channel with myself. Yeah, it is so sad. And Claude was on this channel with myself and William from the London Lowdown a couple of months ago. And me and William had the absolute honour and privilege to speak to Claude. And he was such a nice individual and he was really easy to talk to. He was funny and you could see the passion he had for Arsenal. You could see it on AFTV when you watch that channel and his own channel, Claude and the Bansters as well. But from talking to him, he knew so much about Arsenal, not only modern day Arsenal, but obviously years ago, he was talking to us about early memories that he had supporting Arsenal and kind of just getting that chance to talk to him. And he talked to you about mental health and all that different stuff. And to see kind of how he always used to keep a brave face. And he always used to be someone who, regardless of how much abuse he got on social media or anything like that, he always used to kick on and do his content and always someone who was very passionate about his football club. And look, I hope Joe, my thoughts and prayers, so do go out to his family and friends, and hopefully he can rest in peace. And look, I think that these times in social media and life in general, especially during lockdown, is a time where we all have to be here for each other and we all have to be nice to each other. Again, as I said earlier, you can have your football banter, but again, you never get personal to anybody because you don't know what's going on in someone's head. So, rivalries aside and all that crack, just be kind to each other and always try to help someone in a time of need. That's what I'll absolutely say. Kind of just moving on the show, just with regards to the rest of my 11. I forgot to add in my striker, who I start on the weekend. Martial has a fitness test. So for me, it's 50-50. I probably looking at that, I'd probably be keeping Martial for Granada, if I'd be honest. I think with them playing a high line, Martial would be more suited to that game. So for me, I'd go Cavani up top for this game, because there will be a bit of a physical battle with the likes of Ben White and Joe Lewis Dunk. So in that respect, I go Cavani for this game. And obviously, with Dan James and Rashford getting balls into the box to him, he'd be someone who we could use his movement in the box. But that's my team. Obviously, we're probably the status quo. We could probably see McFred in midfield. We could see that. But Amy, I'm going to come to you with regards to your predicted 11.
Yeah, so I have De Gea in goal, Wan-Bissaka, Bailly, Maguire, Shaw. Unfortunately, I think it is going to be Fred and Pogba. Bruno in front of them.
Hey, what are we calling that midfield then? Because we had Pottage. Do we go Frogba?
Frogba.
That's funny.
I think Dan James will start. So Dan James on the right, Rashford on the left, and I think it'll be Cavani up top.
Yeah, Cavani up top. Look, again, I'm not opposed to that. Again, he's someone who's done a fantastic. So he's been, in terms of moving, Cavani's done well in that regard. He's made space. His finishing has been left something to be desired at times, but I think he's someone who's an experienced head, and especially in these little games can help us. And Greg's just after text me, guys. Wait until you get this. He's after text me on Facebook. Van de Beek's been on my wallpaper since the start of the season. It's not some mad agenda. I'm sorry, Greg. I didn't mean to antagonize you if it wasn't the agenda. I always just wanted to see what your true feelings were. But look,
no, I know it's not an agenda. Like, Greg knows his stuff. I love talking in the chat to Greg. Like, Greg knows ball. Do you know what I mean? This is just something I don't agree with him, but no, it's just all about the conversation, man. That's what is fun. Like, it wouldn't be fun talking about football if everyone agreed the whole time. Do you know? That's why fun thing is when you're talking to someone with different points of view. You know?
I was talking to Greg the other day, and I do get his point of view. I just feel like he was basically saying to me that, like, people are saying, "Oh, we need Van de Beek in the team," but Van de Beek hasn't proven himself yet for people to be hyping him up as much as they have been. So that's what he's getting at.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I do feel like some people overhype him just because he was the new sign, but that's not what I think. I'm not like we need him. I don't really have an opinion on him, because how can anyone have an opinion on him when he's barely played? That's my thing. You know, yeah, the people that are every week, they're like, "Oh, we need Danny. I don't agree with that either, because how the fuck do you know? But same people saying that he's shit. I think, like, how do you know?
But you know what? At the beginning of the season, he did have a couple of good games with Mata. Their link-up game was quite good. But then there was games
up well with everyone.
Yeah, but then there was games like where Bruno struggles when Fred and McTominay are behind him, passing the ball. Obviously, if Bruno's going to struggle in that situation, Van de Beek's going to struggle in that situation too. So,
I think Messi or Ronaldo would struggle with Fred and McTominay behind him. Like, honest to God.
Yeah.
If Pogba's struggling, then of course Messi's going to struggle.
Absolutely, but we're just at the end of the show, guys. We've previewed the game, but we've had really good talking points as well tonight. So, but we're getting to my favorite part of the show now, which is score predictions. And the fact me and Amy are on the same show, we can't hijack each other's score predictions. So that's always a positive note. So I'm actually going to go to Amy first with her score prediction. What do you think is going to happen?
I think I said 2-1 last night, but I actually take that back. I'm going to say... No, it wasn't last night I said that, was it? I can't even remember when I said it.
You said.
I'm going to say 2-0 and a Bruno brace.
So Rory's in the comments here. He says 4-0 United.
Oh my God, if that ever happened.
Keane will go missing for a week.
My Twitter will be gone mad. If that ever happened.
Daniel says 3-1. So two lads, they're very confident about a win this week. Shane, how are you feeling? How's it going down?
2-0 United. Rashford will score, and
go on, say it.
Bruno will score. I was going to say McTominay, but we're going to get Pogtich, so I don't think McTominay will score. Bruno and Rashford, 2-0 United.
Oh, stop. We're going to, whoever's guys in the comments tonight, please all quote tweet at Shane Downey 97 with Pottage. We're getting this trend going. Absolutely. Everyone's in the comments, like, drop Shane a follow and quote tweet what he said tonight about Pottage. We need to get this training. There's no more trending.
Pogtic. Pogtic.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
didn't come up with that. I just thought that was a thing. I've seen that on Twitter, like, so I'm not taking credit. Like, I didn't come up with it. I thought that was the
make
thing.
sure to say Shane. Shane made that up because we want to get a bit of fun. But look, I'm going to go with my score prediction too. I'm in agreement with Daniel and Paul. I'm going to go 3-1 United. I think, look, we will concede, and I think, unfortunately, I say this every show, and it fucking happens, but we'll concede from a set piece. It's just bound to happen. Someone will marking.
Hi, not with Eric Boy in the back line. Telling you.
Yeah,
lads.
Well,
sorry, I'm just going to need to jump off there just because the child is roaring. So I just have to go out and give Taylor a hand. So sorry to jump off early, but
no worries. We're finishing up here anyways. That's good. Thanks for coming on, Shane.
No, bye. Thanks, lads. Thanks for the comments and everything. I'll see you later, lads. Bye.
See you later, Shane.
Bye.
So just obviously with regards to it, I'm going to go 3-1 United as well. I'm going to go with Marcus Rashford getting on the score sheet. I'm going to actually, I'm sick and actually Shane missed this, but I'm going to go with Daniel James. And I'm going to go with Bruno Fernandes as well. I'm actually going to go from the penalty spot this week. We're going to get a Bruno penalty this week.
He definitely needs a goal either way, I think.
Yeah, he needs a goal. He hasn't scored in quite a few games now, so he needs to get back on it and back on the horse and get on the score sheet this weekend. Again, Bruno, why didn't you reply to me on Twitter? Like, Marcus replied to me. I asked you, like, how does it feel to be the second coming of Jesus Christ? Because you are the second coming of Jesus Christ, Bruno, and you didn't reply to me. So that was a quite depressing moment because I put a lot of effort into that tweet to think about what I was going to ask you. So, I'm disappointing you, Bruno, but you can make it up to me this weekend by scoring a penalty this week in the 99th minute this time, not the 98th. So, that'll just boil a bit more piss for all the rival fans. But look, thanks to very much everyone for watching. We're just at the end of our stream now tonight. So just in terms of content coming up this week, Three Devils and the Gunner had their 2-week annual leave, so they'll be back next week. Rach, Jen, Amy and Chels are back next week, and also we will have a new Gunner on the show as well, and Sophie. So we do have another member of that channel, member of that show to join us. So do check that out next week. Obviously, Devil's Advocate will be back next week as well. What I will be doing next week is I'll be doing obviously Europa League preview next week. So I'm going to try, because I've got AC Milan fans, I've got fans from like nearly every other club we've played this season. I'm going to try get a Granada fan. I'm going to try pull one from somewhere. So I'm going to try my best for that. If not, that'll probably be the hardest one. But look, I will try my absolute best. I always pull something out of the bag. But also, look, we will have the London Lowdown show next week as well, because obviously the Champions League and the Europa League is back for both clubs as well next week. So we will have content as well. And obviously, next Friday is our big preview of Manchester United versus Tottenham Hotspur. Is it going to be a repeat, or is it going to be revenge? We're going to find out next Sunday. So we have a big preview. I've Tottenham fan coming on the channel. Our resident from London Lowdown, Steve McGrath, is coming on the United show next Friday for the United versus Spurs preview, and I will have other members of the channel on as well, and so we will have a strong panel for that as well. So do check that out as well. We're packed out with content next week. So as always, smash a like in this video. If you're not subscribed, do subscribe now, because literally we've content nearly every day of the week, and we've a lot of great people on the channel, and we're growing slowly but surely. But trust me, I say, we do appreciate everyone who likes the videos, who subscribes to the channel and gets in the comments, because like the interaction is fucking unreal. Like, I love when people come on and they give the comments, like even tonight, like the bit of banter we had in the comments, like, do you know what I mean, tonight? That's what I love, not the abuse and the slagging people personally in the comments. I hate that, but I love when we have a bit of banter in the chat. Like, even when Greg was in the comments tonight, like, do you know what I mean? He's going mad about Van de Beek, but then we were messing with him, asking him, does he have an agenda? And then I get a personal text. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I do love all the banter that we all have, and it's all lighthearted, and that's what you want. So look, again, if you want to see us piss each other off, get debates, all hot debates, do subscribe, because we literally have
Sean, I'm very disappointed you didn't have a comeback for me tonight, actually.
Yeah, Sean.
Very disappointed.
The thing about it is Sean hasn't got a comeback, but I know for a fact on the London Lowdown, he's going to have another dig back at you. So they'll always be in show digs thrown at each other. It's fucking fantastic. We're all a big happy family here, though. We're all friends. We're all friends at the end of the day. You mightn't think it sometimes. We all show like little jabs about each other's clubs, but we all really love each other. When the lockdown is over, we're all going drinking together. So we're all friends. We're all friends in this club. But yeah, look, thanks very much everyone for watching. I'm going to wrap it up there now. And look, do check out 3000 the Gooner this coming Monday at 8 p.m.